Hi loves, it's Elle and welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for being here. Today we're going to talk all about going cruelty-free in 2020, as you know my channel has. As well, let's talk about kind of what's happening in China and what that means for us, because there is a lot of confusion and I'm hoping to clear some of that up for you. So before we get started, hit the subscribe button, share this video with somebody you think might like it, and let's do it. All right, as we know, Elle, Leary Artistry has gone cruelty-free in 2020. Now, this is a big statement in my opinion, and it's a big statement when people do this in their lives, but I want to start this video out by saying that I did it for personal reasons. I hold no judgment for anybody where they are on their path, if this is something that they want to do. This is a judgment-free zone. As you know, my channel is an educational-based channel, and so I'm hoping that we can talk about this, have an open conversation about different opinions and maybe different resources that you guys have found if you guys are considering going cruelty-free. But again, this is a judgment-free zone. This is just for your information. If you have ever thought about going cruelty-free, maybe I can answer some questions that will make it a little bit easier to understand and easier to start if that is what you want to do. So let's start out with what cruelty-free means. All right, so cruelty-free, I'm sure a lot of us know, but it means that none of the products and ingredients have been tested on animals. That's basically it. This talk of cruelty-free, just so you all know, is not regulated. I actually have been on this journey for a short period of time, so I am constantly learning, and I will share all new things that I learn with you guys. So if you want to be on this journey with me, we can learn together and be on it together. But the FDA does not regulate the words cruelty-free. So in theory, a brand can say, yeah, of course we're cruelty-free, and not have to prove that. And that was new to me. I mean, obviously, things can say, we don't put sugar in something, and then you'll look in the ingredient list and there's sugar in whatever it is. Or like high fructose corn syrup, and it's just a different name. So like, I guess now I understand that, but I didn't really know that until I started to really dig in early 2019 when I decided that my channel would go cruelty-free in 2020. So that was something interesting and new for me to know. Going cruelty-free can be overwhelming, but it is not as hard as people want to think it is. Even the smallest change is doing good things. So for example, I am not a vegan or a vegetarian. I once was when I was in college for about 7 years, but there is 1 or 2 days a week that I will eat no meat. So that's my little thing for doing what I can in the world. I have subscribed to some delivery services like The Grove. Instead of using paper for toilet paper and and paper towels, they use bamboo. So that's kind of where my philosophy is here, is if you want to, don't get caught up in this whole thing that you have to change everything right now and everything has to be done right now, and that it's super hard. I think just doing a little bit along the way can be really effective and can be really beneficial. So maybe you decide to use, maybe you run out of your bronzer and you decide to either go to the drugstore or Sephora or Ulta or wherever you get your cosmetics, and you decide to reach for a cruelty-free brand over something like a Revlon or a Maybelline or something of that nature, or a Dior, okay? So that's my first point, is what cruelty-free is, and that take it step by step. So also, I'm not super into this thought process of throwing everything away that is not cruelty-free. I really recommend using them up and then just buying cruelty-free the next time. So I streamlined all my products out that were not cruelty-free for my channel and started to give them away, donate them, etc. For my personal collection, I'm pretty much cruelty-free, but I have like 1 or 2 items that I just want to use up before I stop using them forever. So another tip is to use up what you need, because we don't need more trash, and we don't need you to be throwing things away that are perfectly good. I mean, like we always say, the damage is already done. You've already purchased them. And so just use them up and then make a different choice when you choose to buy that product again. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is when a product company says something is vegan and it's not a cruelty-free company. that just is a little bit misleading. I'm sure that could totally be that. Okay, so you might think to yourself, oh, this, I don't know, body cream is vegan. Okay, so it has no animal products in it whatsoever. That's what vegan means, okay? But again, it's not regulated, so somebody can just say it. So just FYI. But I mean, so you can say, oh, that company must be cruelty-free then, if they're making a vegan product. No. So that is a little bit misleading, so just watch out for that in those marketing terms, and just try to educate yourself on the difference between, you know, vegan and not a cruelty-free brand, or cruelty-free and vegan. So that's why I always call out this product is either vegan and cruelty-free, okay, which obviously all products on my channel are cruelty-free. So that's something that I get a lot of questions about, and I had a question about myself. Again, constantly learning. This is a really sticky subject and can be very, very, very confusing. And I know a lot of people have really very polarizing opinions on this, and there are varying degrees on this too. So even, I just don't want anybody to feel bad, like you're making small choices and that matters, okay, and that makes a difference. You don't have to go full vegan, raw, everything to make a difference, okay, and neither one is here nor there, and you don't even have to go cruelty free. That is fine. That's what you have chosen to do, and that is, again, no judgment. But the cruelty free, vegan, all of that world can be a little aggressive in their passion. And so I just want to make sure that you understand that that is, any step that you want to do along the way or not do is totally fine. Now let's talk about these so-called parent companies. So parent companies are your like LVMH and your Unilever and all of those types of things. So these are large conglomerations that own a ton of brands underneath it, okay? And their parent companies, so they have Johnson & Johnson, they're not cruelty-free whatsoever, but then they have other brands beneath them that are. Same that goes for LVMH, same that goes for Unilever, all that type of stuff. I mean, Unilever just bought Tatcha, and Tatcha is a cruelty-free brand. So, for me, what I think is, because I got a lot of questions on my first video on this. Are you going to support brands that are under parent companies that are not cruelty-free? And I thought long and hard about that, because you guys really brought up a good point, and it's something that I wanted to really think about. So the problem for me is that if I just exclude or not include brands that are owned by a parent company, okay? And a lot of people, when I said this, didn't really love my reaction of it, but there's not going to be a ton of mainstream product lines that everyone can get and everyone has access to if I exclude those parent companies that aren't cruelty-free, okay? That's one point. But also, too, I believe in spending your money where you want to be spent so you can make an impact and hopefully tell these large brand owners that there is something to this brand underneath us that is cruelty-free, okay? So I want that brand, that large conglomeration, to know I want you to go cruelty-free. I support your brands that are cruelty-free, okay? So really, for me, it's, I want to spend my money where those cruelty-free brands are and show the big, you know, people or the big, you know, business leaders of these conglomerations that there is interest in cruelty-free brands. There is people, there are people that really are passionate about this and will buy only from your cruelty-free brands. And I'm hoping, I don't hope to lose anybody money, but I really, you know, hope that those brands push forward and are the bigger money makers so that it is a no-brainer for them, that their ROI doesn't suffer, that they all go cruelty-free. Okay, so that's my opinion on, you know, the larger conglomerations that are not, or the parent companies that are not cruelty-free. So let me know what your thought process is on this, because I know a lot of people don't buy from those companies. Now, one of the last things I want to speak about are my resources where I go and find out if a company is cruelty-free or not, okay? So since people can just say, oh yeah, I'm cruelty-free and not really prove it, there's a couple things you can do. I really love Cruelty-Free Kitty. I love Leaping Bunny. That's leapingbuddy.com. That's really my trusted resource, because if a company is Leaping Bunny certified, which I think if it was me and I was like a Wet n Wild or a, you know, Urban Decay, because it costs a little bit of money to get the certification done, get it done. okay? It's not that big a deal. I have looked into it for my company that I hope to be doing one day. It's not as big a deal. They come in and they monitor the facility and all of that things, but you know that if it's Sleeping Buddy certified, that actually is true. So instead of it being cruelty-free, yes, but it's also analyzed by a third party, and that has come in and said, yep, you're right, you are cruelty-free. And I think it's important. So if you want to just really be like straight and narrow on it, just buy from Leaping Bunny certified product companies. So Bite Sleeping Bunny certified, there are so many different ones. And those are all listed on the Leaping Buddy certified, or the Leaping Buddy website. Cruelty-free Kitty, which I really love, she actually, I don't know if it's a she or not, but the website will actually list all the brands, okay? And then she'll put if it's Sleeping Buddy certified. And that's just a really quick resource. There's a whole bunch of others. Again, I'll have all this stuff in the description box below so you can do your own research and have a guide on how at least I go about buying, you know, cruelty-free. And that will help you. But going to those websites will really be beneficial for you if you are a little bit confused, okay? All right, so finally, let's talk about this whole thing that came out dealing with China going cruelty-free, okay? I got really excited about it when I first heard because that's huge, right? If China was to go cruelty-free, I mean, how amazing. So I did my research. I went on PETA. I went on a whole bunch of different websites, listened to a bunch of different podcasts that talked about it, and unfortunately there was like a misleading article that came out, I think towards the end of last year. I saw it on Twitter, I think somebody tweeted me, and it just was very misleading. It's not the truth, okay? Unfortunately, China has not gone cruelty-free. They still require testing of products that are brought in through to be sold physically in mainland China, okay? So all they have done is they have by law given or allowed different testing methods. This is great news, okay? This is great news, moving in the right direction, but it's just still not what we want, which is cruelty-free methods, right? So unfortunately, that is not the truth, but hopefully this is a step in the right direction, and I look forward to the future and hopefully seeing this change, and again, in a more positive direction. Some other things about this whole China products being sold in different places. When we talk about, for example, products being imported in to China and them being tested on animals, okay, that is hard and fast their rule, okay? So if a brand is physically sold in mainland China, it has to be tested, okay? But you can sell products online in mainland China without having to do the testing. I know, it's all sorts of confusing, okay? But there are other parts of China that you can sell products physically and not have to do animal testing. There are some weird loopholes in there that make me a little bit nervous that I kind of just found out about. Again, I am not an expert on this. I am just doing my best, as we all are in life, to figure out what's really going on and how to make the best decision for me, my family, my channel, and my viewers, okay? Or recommendations for you guys. So the loophole is that if a product company or if a product line like I'll list them below, but there's several product companies that are cruelty-free and they're actually made in China. And if they're made in China, they do not have to be tested. But then there's this whole kind of weird thing about are the ingredients tested on animals? Or is the whole product, ingredients and final products, not tested at all? It's kind of a gray area, okay? And when you reach out to the companies, they're very vague they're very vague on this topic. And again, you're gonna have to take their word for it, okay? So they can tell you whatever they wanna tell you if they're not Leaping Bunny certified, okay? But I don't think, which I'm pretty sure Leaping Bunny certification doesn't extend over borders into international waters, all right? Now, products that are made in the UK, it is illegal to test on animals, okay? I just don't know what that means though. For example, California and I think Nevada and somewhere else just passed a law that you can't sell products in California that test on animals. But how can they sell MAC there? Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm a little confused. So maybe MAC, which I know is the truth, they don't personally, as a company, test on animals, but they have to because they're sold in mainland China, right? So I don't know, it's very confusing, okay? So for me, I don't use them because they can't call themselves cruelty-free because they have to test on animals when law requires it, okay? I know this is it's like so much to take in. Just little by little, digest little pieces, see what fits and feels good to you, and see if you want to move forward in any direction as possible, okay? So that's where I stand right now. I also am trying my best to buy, you know, no leather, no suede. I am trying my best to make sure that I am bringing recycled bags to the grocery store. You know, just little things here and there that I can do to help lessen my impact on the world and animals. Our whole house has actually gone dairy-free because we found out that Gray has a dairy allergy, but also too, it's just, you know, for us, it's something that we could consume less of, all right? So there is less of a need for that. That's just our personal opinion. Everybody can probably have pretty polarizing opinions on that. But, you know, my journey continues. My whole progress through this is not perfect. I won't be perfect, but nobody is. And so I just commit to you that I will try my best. My channel will be cruelty-free, and I will try my best and just make sure that I'm trying to make the best decisions for this channel, for you guys, and for myself and my family. Oh, the last thing I want to tell you guys about is been getting quite a few comments about Charlotte Tilbury not being cruelty-free in 2020, okay? I was devastated to hear this. It's just not the truth, okay? Charlotte Tilbury is cruelty-free. The problem is that people have heard that her line will be sold in mainland China. It will be, but not physically. It will be sold online, okay? And they supposedly, as far as I know, the testers that are going into these certain stores that they're not going to physically be in are not needing to be third-party testing because they're not going to be open. So I guess they're more of just a visual, like this is what the product looks like. I don't know, it's quite confusing to me, but I do know that that is the truth, that there's been statements by the brand, there has been all sorts of things happening that the brand rest assures that they are not being sold physically in mainland China, and they will still hold their cruelty-free status. They are not Leaping Bunny certified, but again, they're a UK brand, so this is where you gotta make up your own mind here, okay? All right, so I hope that clears a lot of things up for you. Again, I will have resources in the description box. Please list your favorite resources. I would actually love to start listing your favorite cruelty-free brands. I would love to hear your favorite cruelty-free clothing lines, favorite purses that are made out of vegan leather, things like that. Favorite charities to reduce waste or plant trees or save animals, things like that. I would love for this to be a running tally or total so people can come back to this and be like, oh yeah, I saw her talk about X, Y, and Z, or oh yeah, I wanted to try that brand of, you know, whatever. And it just maybe have it be a running total so people can come back to as a nice resource for doing what we can to lessen our impact on the resources and the animals that and people actually that impact this world. So thank you all so much for being here, and I will see you on the next one. Lots of love from me to you.